I'm the girl that James Charles talked about in that video. Everybody's been asking for a video and I haven't been able to make it because of a few reasons. One being my anxiety. I have really bad anxiety.
I saw this and was like, who is James Charles? What video? What was being talked about and what happened? Because when I seen that this video had 1.1 million views on TikTok, I said to myself, something has happened here. So I needed to pull out my magnifying glass and see what was going on. And I did some research because that lady posted that video, honestly, about 26 minutes ago. It was the first thing I seen on my TikTok. Naturally, I'm like, who is James Charles? This is James Charles. And I was like, oh, he looks familiar. I believe he does makeup or something. I'm not sure. Y'all can get me up to speed in the comments. But allegedly, he posted this video, which is now currently deleted because I went and looked on his profile to see what happened, which was posted on April 7th, 2026, allegedly. But somebody here screen recorded it. So let's watch together what he said.
I just got a DM on here from a girl that said, "Good morning, James. I know you'll probably never see this, but if you could just take 1 minute to read it, would really mean a lot to me. I'm really struggling right now because Spirit Airlines just filed for bankruptcy and I have lost my job. Here's the GoFundMe link. Any donations help." I'm sure they do, sweetheart. I'm sure they do. You know what else would help you? Getting another job. Yeah, try that. Because in the time that it took you to copy and paste the same message to myself, who you don't follow, by the way, and probably 100 other influencers and celebrities, you could have applied for 100 other jobs, but you didn't because you're a lazy piece of and you're entitled, and you think that influencers and celebrities should fund your life for you. Why would I ever help you? You're not a fan. You don't even follow me. You've never supported me. This is your first time DMing, and you think that I'm gonna send you money because you lost your job? Oh my God, welcome to the real world, sweetheart. People lose their jobs every day, and you're white, pretty, and able-bodied. You're in a much better position than a lot of other people out here who are trying clearly much harder to make a better life for themselves. Why would I you? Aside from that, 17,000 people lost their jobs at Spirit Airlines. Why do you think you need the GoFundMe? I can at least like 1% respect the mentality of closed mouths don't get fed, doesn't hurt to try. But honestly, it does hurt to try because now you pissed me off. Okay, I'm not the one. Go find Mr. Reese. This is literally his entire shtick. I'm sure the next YouTube video is literally gonna be like, I rehired all 17,000 of the Spirit Airlines employees and it's gonna be the real life Hunger Games. The last one of them to leave the Spirit Airlines plane gets to be the CEO of the new company and gets a house and a car and $10 million that everybody else dies. Like, go find that video to compete in, baby. I'm not helping you. I'm not helping you. All you did was lost your job, okay? Welcome to the real world. I can at least understand if you were like, James, I'm a longtime fan. Here's a trillion years of DMs and my support for you. I love you. I'm suffering with a really rare genetic disease that there is no cure for, and I'm trying to raise money for myself and other people that have this. Maybe I would help. Maybe I would help because I love you and I appreciate you. This, you lost your job? What are we gonna do? Nothing! I'm gonna do nothing. You know what you need to do? Go find a new one, girl. Put some effort into the workplace.
It was worse than I thought it was going to be. I was waiting, honestly, for a good time to pause the video to give my honest reaction, but as the plot thickened like oatmeal, the grave was being dug even deeper. And sir, I understand why you deleted this video. Now I understand. This was a crash out. And I'm not sure why he crashed out like this. And I understand that he's like, hey, she's not a fan. She's never supported me, X, Y, and Z. I can even understand people feeling like, hey, I'm not obligated to do anything for you. However, comma, he didn't have to respond like this, calling her the B word, calling her out of her name, calling her lazy. If somebody got fired from their job because the airline, Spirit Airlines specifically, closing up shop, which affected so many people, that doesn't mean they're lazy. And unfortunately, and the truth is, if you work for any company, that can happen to you too. And if you are an influencer or somebody who has a successful business, we all understand that everything is on you and stuff can be up and down for you as well. You could have to close down your own business. What I'm really trying to say here is, I'm sure we all feel a certain level of uncertainty, or at least we have if you've ever worked a normal job. And that's why I think it's important to remember what that feels like, no matter how successful you become in whatever field you are in. And just try to put yourself in other people's shoes. Nobody wishes to be laid off from work. It probably took a lot out of whoever asked to even reach out, if she was reaching out to hundreds of influencers, to ask for help. Like, I can say that as somebody who doesn't like to ask anybody for help. So if I ask you for help, I really needed it. And if this was the reaction that I received after losing my job from potentially somebody she may even look up to or aspire to be like, how crushing, right? I'm honestly almost speechless. And another thing that could have been done is to just be quiet. Just don't say anything. I believe in current society in 2026 in America, there is a lot more people who can empathize or sympathize with the lady who lost her job at Spirit Airlines than that rant. I just don't think people are getting jiggy with that over the real life experience that a lot of people are dealing with right now in our current society. A lot of people are being laid off. And as somebody who is an influencer, I believe that is something that he should have been aware of, in understanding that that is very offensive to a lot of people who are trying, who also may be people that aid you in the life that you are able to live as an influencer, the people who watch you. A lot of your fans are likely dealing with that sort of thing right now. And to speak like that, I just think that was a bad move. And we all make mistakes. Nobody is above reproach. And I want to see what the comments say. The first comment says, he could have literally just ignored it. I have to agree with that. Another saying, this is way worse than I thought. Holy S. Another comment stating, he just kept going. Literally. Another comment saying, why should I fund your life for you? Isn't that literally what influencers get from their followers? And that's what I was saying. That's what makes it so ironic, is if we're having this conversation in truth, if you are able to change your whole life circumstance, get brand deals, be able to make an actual living from people watching you or supporting products that you buy or you recommend or whatever the case may be, they are helping you fund your life. Now, unless you already had money and you were sitting on a lot before your social media, that's a whole nother story. But nonetheless, they are still helping you achieve financial milestones and possibly even climb up the social economic ladder. And that has to count for something. So and I'm not saying that you're entitled to anybody's money due to their hard work, however they built up their platforms. I'm not taking away from anybody, but I am also very aware that without the support of your audience, do we even know who you are? And I'm, even for me, does anybody know who I am, like outside of the military? Because they know who I am. Unless I have this platform, who has helped me build this platform? People don't have to support you. And I think that's something that people who have an online presence have to remember. You're not entitled to people's attention, to their views, to their money, none of it. And videos like that might make people say, you know what, I don't want to support you any longer and help build you up, because this is how you act when you get to certain heights. And other saying, and he actually pressed the post button. He says this in his multi-million-dollar mansion. I don't know much about Mr. James Charles or what he got, what he does. He just looks really familiar, and I think I've seen him do makeup. Others saying, so unbelievably mean. Another comment saying, it's actually not that easy. This job market is absolutely terrible. Very true for many people. And another saying, I kind of get the point, but he was so incredibly rude about it and out of touch. Now, what I would like to do is see her follow-up video.
Did James Charles really send you that message? He did. He decided to message me on TikTok and he wanted to privately apologize. I know another question on here is, do I accept his apology? So I'm just gonna answer it right together. Hell no.
Wait, what apology? Let me go be nosy. Give me a second. Ah, I found it. Okay, let me read it and we're gonna get back to what she was just saying. Allegedly, this is James Charles, the person we seen make the comments in the first video, and he says, "Hi Amber, I wanted to reach out privately with an apology for the video I made. It was disgraceful and completely unnecessary, and there's no excuse for me yelling at and berating somebody for asking for help in this horrible situation that was completely out of your control. I'm so sorry for adding to what was already a distressing time. I am so ashamed for most only the video, but for being so distinguishedly out of touch. I was sent your video today and I was so glad to see your GoFundMe has exploded." Oh, okay, that's good news. But I also know that getting attention online can be scary and overwhelming, especially when you never asked for it in the first place. I've spent the last few days reading stories from real people about what it's actually like losing a job without notice, and also learning about the journey to find a new one when so many people are going through the same situation. I've just donated to your GoFundMe. Oh, but also, please let me know I'm here if there is anything else I can help with or do. Also, fully understand if you never want to hear from me again. I genuinely wish you all the best and hope you are doing okay. In her caption, it says, "You apologized in private after embarrassing me in public, but some damage doesn't disappear just because you finally feel guilty. I hear the apology. I don't accept it." Now, this is how people are responding to this apology here in the comments. They're saying he wrote this with ChatGPT. I can't confirm nor deny. Another saying the James Charles original apology video is still out there, by the way. Oh, I'm gonna look for it. Another person saying ask for a new car. She laughing. Other people saying I've spent the last few days reading stories from real people about what it's like losing a job is sending me. Others saying his team wrote this for him. And another saying if this hadn't blown up, he would never have apologized. Can't confirm nor deny. Now back to what she was saying here.
Did you respond to his apology? I sure the hell did not. I did not, because I don't think I could have put any words together and kept it respectful. So I did not respond. I just opened it, I read it, and that was it. So yes, he did message me. I do not accept, and I did not respond. Another question, how is your mental health? Honestly, my mental health has always been a roller coaster. Currently, I think it's doing pretty good as of right now. Definitely, it changes like as the day goes by. Once I start overthinking something, it's downhill from there. But as of right now, I got a really strong support system behind me, so my mental health is pretty good. Another question that I keep getting a lot is you keep raising it, kind of being greedy now. I'm not raising it, so GoFundMe, I guess this is my first time, but I just noticed a couple days ago was when you set a goal, once you reach that goal, GoFundMe just brings it up, so it keeps going higher and higher. GoFundMe did comment on one of my videos and they did explain this as well, so no, it is not me raising it.
And the reason why she's speaking on the GoFundMe is, hold up, ma'am, do y'all see this? Okay, I don't know what it was originally, but she raised $41,000 so far off of this whole incident. And looking here, one of the top donations is an anonymous $10,000. Now, I'm not sure if that's James Charles with the donation. He did say he was donating, but nonetheless, overall, she has been able to raise $41,000 as of May 15th, 2026 for her sudden job loss.
Are you going to sue? No, I'm not going to sue. At the end of the day, that man has so much money that to drag this in court, I'm not going to sue because I just don't think it's necessary in the situation. I think the internet and all of you guys have been able to turn this negative situation into a positive situation, right. And not only that, but bring awareness to the world and get other people also donated, because he did go and donate to a couple other GoFundMes for the same reason.
I'm just curious, what would she have sued for? Maybe for like emotional distress or something. I don't even know. And I only say that because nobody is in fact entitled to a stranger's money, but that doesn't take away from the fact that he didn't even have to respond, or he could have responded in a different way, because it's like people losing their jobs, like that's a serious matter. But like she said, she was able to turn a negative into a positive. And with all of this happening, I want to know, do people feel like watching this whole thing go down that the donation was genuine? Now, I think everybody makes mistakes. Not one of us is perfect. And I know that when people have a platform, a lot of people feel like, oh, they're not allowed to make mistakes. They have to almost be perfect. And that's just not the case. That's not the case for anybody, whether you have a platform or not. Unfortunately, because his platform is so big, you have more people watching what you're saying and how you're reacting and stuff. And I just think he didn't consider that, which was also a big failure on his part. But he did apologize and he tried to rectify things. I'm just glad he didn't stand 10 toes down on that. Like, I didn't do nothing wrong, blah, blah, blah. Because the way he was talking in that first video, I thought that's what he was going to send her. But I can understand where she's coming from about like, hey, I was addressed publicly this way. I want to be responded to publicly. You know, I get that.
I'm not making any excuses for him though. I'm definitely not. But you know, so I don't think there's any need to do that.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Yeah. Now, people aren't here saying not accepting his apology, but accepting his money. Others saying, sue for what? For him not wanting to financially help you? I'm so wishy-washy with this whole ordeal. Nobody is entitled to help, but how he came about it was wrong. I agree with the part about nobody is entitled to somebody else's help. Because if that was the case, we'd all be rich right now, because we just go to the trillionaires and be like, help us normal folks, but they not gonna do it. They not. And then that's just how the cookie crumbles for us. But others saying the apology has to be as loud as the disrespect. Others telling her, hey, take this opportunity, since you're monetized now, to make more content. Now, Mr. James, they doing you dirty in the comments, and they're saying that this is allegedly you when TikTok was getting banned. Y'all remember when TikTok was being banned in the United States and everybody was freaking out and like, oh my gosh, which I understand why they were upset, because again, this is people's livelihoods. We made a whole video about it where I was saying, I don't understand how anybody is bashing anybody going through a job loss just because you don't agree with them being influencers or making their money online. Nonetheless, a job loss hurts. So if this was in fact him during the TikTok ban, Mr. Charles, you already understand what that's like. You didn't need to go research other people's stories, because if this was you felt that deep in your soul, allegedly, because look at the face. Job loss is devastating. Not knowing where your next dollar is going to come from, and a lot of people have already thought like, hey, I'm going to do this with my paycheck. I'm going to go travel here. I'm going to pay off my debt, pay off some student loans, pay off my car, and then everything is abruptly interrupted and you're blindsided. And now you're scrambling just like everybody else in this job market, fighting for jobs. And that's rough. That's rough. And this, me sharing this, isn't to even bash Mr. James if that is what happened. It is to just say, you know what that feels like. You know what it's like to be down on your luck. And I think we need to remember those moments when we're thinking about job losses and things that are very financially crippling for other people. We need to put yourself in the worst financial situation you've been in that you didn't cause on purpose, or even if you did cause it on purpose. Think about how down bad you felt. The last thing somebody needs is you telling them they're not doing enough when they lost a job. You ain't got to give them no money, but just leave them on red. That might hurt too for some people, but that's better than what he did. But I am glad that he apologized.
Says, how many creators reached out to you after he bashed you for no reason? I don't really know off the top of my head. I did have quite a few creators reach out to me, and they did have some inspiring words. I can say some of them. I was going to shut off my GoFundMe when it reached 9,000, and they all told me no, don't do that. This is your blessing. Another question, how much notice did the other employees receive when you were informed you wouldn't be an employee anymore? Did you have an idea prior? Pretty much no. I'm gonna be honest, no, we did not. I remember May 1st, I was at work, and I said, hey, I just saw the news.
Right.
I just saw the news. Do we still have a job? And the response that we kept getting was, everything's running, operation is running as normal, as usual. We'll let you know if anything happens, but as of right now, everything's running as normal. And then, did you have any idea prior? A lot of people have mixed emotions by did I have any idea prior, because Spirit obviously filed for bankruptcy. I genuinely didn't think that it was gonna happen. Personally, I genuinely did not think it was going to happen, because it was going on for a couple years already. Right. And then we were being reassured by our jobs saying, no, everything's fine, operating as usual.
And that's how these jobs do. And I'm glad she's talking about this part, because this happens to a lot of people. And then people are like, how did you know you wasn't gonna get fired? And it's most of the time, the people are going based off of what the supervisors are telling them, what they're being told when they come to work. They're asking the questions, but some of the people that they're asking legit don't know what's going on, and they're just no, everything's fine. But typically, in the bigger scheme of things, somebody at the top already knows what's going on. They're just not telling all the employees, and that information isn't trickling down, because if it did trickle down, the employees probably wouldn't work the way they want them to work and continue to make them money, or to continue to try to make them money. I've seen people talk about they found out when they came to work that they no longer had a job and they were in there getting rid of all the equipment. And then the employees are like, why you didn't tell us nothing? And they're like, well, you wouldn't have came on Friday if we told you. And I'm not saying it's right. I'm saying that is what happens to a lot of people. I'm not sure exactly what happened with Spirit Airlines, but she's stating here they were being reassured that no, everything is fine. And I honestly think that this whole gas situation, the jet fuel situation that's currently going on because we have global conflicts, was like the nail in the coffin essentially for Spirit Airlines. They just couldn't, they couldn't manage with all of that. It's too much. Like, we're over here paying at the pump a lot of money for gas, but the airlines that are already struggling are also feeling that. And some of the bigger airlines, based off of the video that I already did like this week or last week, they're saying, hey, we're just passing this cost on to the customers. I'm not sure that Spirit Airlines was even able to effectively possibly even do anything like that, because Spirit Airlines was known to be a budget airline, an option that was a lot cheaper for a lot of Americans. So if they had to tack on that additional fuel, that jet fuel price that the other companies were tacking on, would it even be Spirit at that point? Like, people are flying Spirit because it's cheap. And perhaps they could have, I'm not sure, I don't know the ins and outs of their business, but nonetheless, I think it was too many factors and they were already hanging on by a thread, and then that happened and they just couldn't keep up. It's very sad.
Another question. Did you believe or let any of what he said originally get to you? No, I'm lying. Maybe a little bit. Like, when he called me lazy, yeah, that definitely struck a nerve, because I'm like, no, I'm not lazy. I'm far from lazy. I've always had a job. I've had a job from the moment I could work until May 2nd. Listen, what was your first reaction when you found out and heard his rant about you? I think I already answered this one. I'll show you my reaction. And then I started screenshotting and sending it to my friends. I said, he's talking about me? I said, there was no way. Like, that was literally my first reaction when I saw the video. Did James Charles donate $5,000 after he was just canceled? Yes, he did. There was a first donation of $500, which I thought was him, but after he messaged me, he did donate to my GoFundMe, donated $5,000. A lot of people, that's another question too, a lot of people are saying, am I keeping it or am I returning it back to him?
Interesting. Would y'all return it? If it was me, I'm be like, look, I'm gonna keep it as an extension of the olive branch. Olive branch. I'm not even gonna. I would keep it. I don't even know why this even a discussion. Like, she looking for a job. Times is hard. Hello. and then what's interesting is there was a lot of discourse about, hey, he needed to be as loud about the apology as he was with the disrespect. Well, I'm on his account and he's saying here, responding to the deleted Spirit Airlines video. And he posted this like 6 days ago.
Yesterday morning, I posted a video on this account talking about how a woman had lost her job at Spirit Airlines, and she sent me a message with a GoFundMe link asking me to donate. And the video is basically me yelling at the camera, being super upset and frustrated because this person had never followed me, never supported me before, and it was clear that she had basically copied and pasted this DM to every influencer and celebrity she possibly could, asking for a handout. And I called her lazy, I said she was stupid, and I said she should have spent the time that she spent copying and pasting the message applying for jobs instead. This video was stupid. It was rude, it was obnoxious, it was privileged, and most importantly, it was completely unnecessary. When I saw that DM, I absolutely had the choice to ignore it and say absolutely nothing at all and move on with my day, but instead, I couldn't even tell you why. Her message just triggered me, and I decided instead to make a video about it.
Now, I know a lot of y'all are gonna be like, this ain't good enough. And the other lady said that she don't accept his apology, and that's well within her right. But I will say this, sometimes forgiving, it's not about the other person, it's for you. Because if you hang on to bitterness in a lot of situations, it's like a dark cloud that just doesn't go away. It's so you can have peace. And I'm not saying forgiving people is easy in any circumstance. I'm just saying in life, like, I've dealt with struggling to forgive people for wronging me. And as I've got older, I look into my Bible, I'm like, you know what? I really gotta try my best to forgive people, you know, for one, if I want to inherit the kingdom, for one, and then two, because it don't feel good carrying that darkness around. And I know forgiving people is a journey, because I've been there, but I do just want to say that I do.
I bashed her, and it was obnoxious, and I shamed her, asking for help in a situation where she was clearly really struggling, and this could have been her absolute last resort. I have no idea what was going on in her life, and I should have never assumed that she was just copying and pasting this DM as an easy way out. I don't know. I just don't know. My intention behind making this video in the first place was I get a lot of messages like this every single day. And for me personally, it definitely sucks to receive messages from people that don't follow you and don't support you, treating you like our personal ATM or bank account.
Well, I can understand how that might feel as well. A lot of y'all's family members do it, and it don't make you feel good when they do it. So I could just imagine when a stranger does that. Doesn't make his response okay, but I can see where he's coming from with that.
But what I'm sure sucks even more is not knowing where your next paycheck is coming from and not being sure whether or not you're going to be able to put food on the table for yourself and your family.
Absolutely. That gotta hurt way more than somebody that you don't know from a can of paint asking you for money. And not just that, she felt embarrassed. That's the other part, is that with this big platform and how he handled it, she felt embarrassed, but luckily he apologized, and also she was able to turn this into a positive. Like, look at the GoFundMe, it's doing great.
So it really doesn't matter what my intentions were behind making the video, because it came across as super privileged and like I was basically shaming anybody that's unemployed for not trying hard enough to get a job. And I feel awful because that wasn't my intention, and it really hurt a lot of people. And I know that it's not that easy. I know that the job market sucks right now. I have friends that are looking for jobs. I have my own employees that I try my best to take care of. And I've heard so many horror stories online of companies ghosting people, recruiters wasting everybody's time, people applying for job after job and not hearing back for 6 months, a year, 2 years. I know that it's really hard out there, and that most people are just doing their best and trying their best to figure it out and to make it by.
And we talk about this all the time on this channel, how a lot of people are struggling, sometimes due to situations they put themselves in, but a lot of times because, yeah, there are ghost job listings. We talked about that like 2 years ago or a year ago. People are now talking about the age of disclosure conversation, where they're talking about how financially they're doing everything they can, but it's still not enough. The cost of living, gas, all sorts of things. And perhaps for many people, when they get to a certain level, they're not as tapped in with the general public and what people in real life are going through, because now you're dealing with a different class of people. Perhaps like if he is living in a multi-million-dollar mansion, allegedly, I don't know, can't confirm nor deny, his life might look different than somebody who is working a 9-to-5, working extra hours, clocking in, trying to pay their phone bill, pay their electricity bill, just trying to keep up with the rising prices of groceries. And I can't really fault anybody for bettering themselves, because at the end of the day, we all want people to be in a good financial situation. So I'm not going to fault anybody for that. But I think as you're getting there, it's important to remember and consider other people, especially if those people are part of the reason why you're up where you are financially. And it is honestly a humbling experience to really look back on your own growth, because if people did that more often, I think sometimes they would stop in their tracks about the stuff that they're saying about people who are just trying to make it, that are working.
And if this person happened to choose sending out GoFundMe links as their method of trying to make it by, who am I to judge? Especially when you consider the fact that my method of figuring it out and getting by was making makeup videos online.
Thank you. I'm not even mad at you, Mr. Charles. I think everything he's saying is 1,000% correct, and that's what I've been saying. And I think that's very big of him. I don't agree with what he originally said, but we all fall short. I don't care who it is. None of us are perfect. But I think it's big of him to get on the camera, even if some of y'all saying this PR, his team is behind it, it's ChatGPT. He didn't have to make the video to try to even clear the air. Because we've seen people with money, like, they just be like, I don't care. So what?
I just happened to get really lucky, and now, years later, I'm in a blessed and privileged position. But as somebody with a platform, it's my responsibility to humble myself and to never take what I have for granted. And when I made that video today, that is exactly what I did. I was speaking from a very privileged, obnoxious, ignorant standpoint. And for anybody that saw that video and was disappointed or upset with what I said, I am super sorry. Especially the woman from Spirit Airlines. I did try to look for her message earlier before making this video, and I couldn't find it. If you see this video and you want to get in touch, I would love to apologize to you directly and to help you out a little bit. But if you are not comfortable with that, I totally understand too. I really appreciate anybody that sent me a message or left a comment about this video today, letting me know how insensitive it was. I really needed to hear that, and I really need to think twice before I hit record and just start yapping on this account. I I genuinely treat this spam page like I'm on FaceTime with you guys. I love to laugh and tell you stories and rant and scream at the camera and joke around with y'all.
Yeah.
But sometimes I genuinely forget how many people are watching, and it was completely inappropriate to make a joke out of somebody just trying to provide for themselves and their family. That's definitely my bad.
Somebody here said Jackie, I don't even want to say it wrong, hit the nail right on the head regarding all this. I don't know who Jackie Ina. Is that Jack? They're the same person. No, Jackie Ina is the makeup lady. She be on YouTube. Well, she used to be. Yeah, I know who she is. So I assume one of his peers, who is also a content creator, made a video. I have not seen it. I'm not in the loop of the makeup stuff. But anyway, I'm assuming because this was a very big deal, other content creators were speaking on it. And people are like, since you had a change of heart, can I have $1,000? What's funny is he liked it. Y'all are crazy in the comments talking about, I'll accept your apology if you give me $5K. And not y'all extorting him in real time on TikTok. Allegedly. And look, some of y'all in the comments talking about, oh, y'all would hate me as an influencer. And y'all over here linking Venmos, this is nuts. And then, I don't know, like, the comments seem split. There's comments saying, I thought you were right. You know, a lot of likes on that comment. And others saying, I don't know, I low-key was on your side. And that has a lot of likes on it too. Y'all, I feel so silly. Because y'all remember somewhere in this video, like, this gonna have to just be added real raw. Somewhere in this video, I was saying, you know, at least he didn't like double down on him being wrong and saying that crazy stuff he said about that girl. I'm eating my words. I'm eating my words because as I'm closing TikTok, why do I see people saying there's a deleted video of the apology? I'm like, no, it's on this page. What are they talking about? And they're like, he doubled down. So I went and looked. James, I only seen the first couple seconds and why did you do this? And yeah, I'm gonna show the alleged deleted video because I'm taken aback. James, is this you? 2 million views. Look, obviously, I didn't take out my magnifying glass before I spoke, and I spoke too soon. 2 million views on this video and another follow-up video with 2.3 million views. This is what he said.
I ended up deleting the video that I posted yesterday talking about people who send me GoFundMe links that have never followed, supported, DM me before, just begging for money. And most people were like enjoying the video, saying it was a valid point, but it definitely started causing some discourse in the comments. And a lot of people were just saying it was out of touch and insensitive. And they're right. It was definitely a harsh choice of words, maybe not my best video, and I deleted it. But of course the internet is forever. I know a lot of content creators are using like the 5-second clip in the very beginning where I'm like, you're a lazy piece of get a new job, upload their cute little think pieces being like, influencers are all so out of touch. This is so disgusting. You don't know how hard it is in the job market these days. Oh my God, give me a break. I am out of touch, first and foremost. Okay, I am never gonna be one of those influencers that gets online and pretends to be poor so I can come across as relatable to my audience. I think it's tacky, I think it's annoying, and I also think it's quite insulting to the audience watching, as if you guys are gonna be fooled into thinking that. You've been watching me for 10 years now. It's no secret that I have been able to find success doing what I've done. It didn't start that way though. I started from literally nothing and had a dream for myself and was determined to literally do anything to make it happen. And luckily, I've been blessed to be able to do that and now call this my full-time job.
And I'm glad that, again, I don't know where I'm going to put this in the video because I thought that it was just, you made the statement, you made the apology, that was that. James, I didn't know you went on a whole crash out spree talking about you're out of touch and talking about how you don't want to be associated with the poorness or whatever you said. Like, what? Here's the thing, like, you don't have to be pretending to be poor to show empathy for people losing their job. Like, that's not pretending to be poor, Mr. James, Mr. James. That's not pretending to be poor. That's just having a heart. It's like, oh, somebody's going through something hard doesn't equate to let me pretend to be poor. You can be who you are. Like, we see Shaq, for example, like, he's one of the people that come to my mind. Shaquille O'Neal, we know he's rich. That man is at Walmart buying bikes, buying people shoes, clothes, all of that. And I'm not even saying you have to do all of that, but he's not pretending to be poor. He's just blessing people where he sees fit, however he sees fit. And even if you're not doing all of that, you don't have to pretend to be poor, but you don't have to talk down to the working class. Like, the working class, the people who got you where you are, you know, your audience. You know, like being an influencer or moving up economic classes doesn't mean that you gotta be a person who's acting like you're better than those that are not at that level. You don't have to be cruel. Like, is that what y'all think it means to have money? It's just, I gotta be like X, Y, and Z and talk to people crazy and stuff. Like, that's not classy. I'm like, don't, isn't like wealth associated with class? And it's like, not enough money can do it for some people. And Mr. James, I seen your other apology video, but I'm just stating the money, unfortunately, can't buy y'all enough empathy to show to the audience. And that's very sad. And especially when you've been through stuff like you talking about, you had this great transformation, which I'm glad that you have. But this is like different type of energy than I seen in that next apology video, which is now making me feel like, was it real? Was any of it real? Like, because how you go from this to what you get.
The reason I made that video yesterday, though, was a lot of people these days do not have the make it work mentality. They have no desire to actually put in the effort to try to fix a problem and get themselves out of a situation. They immediately result in asking for help. And don't get me wrong, I don't think there's anything wrong with asking for help. In my personal opinion, though, it should be a last resort. If you disagree, that's totally fine. That's your personal opinion. I'm not going to apologize for having mine. There's a lot of people responding back to the video being like, oh my gosh, he has no idea how hard the job market is. I've been applying for new jobs for 6 months, 1 year, 2 years now, and I've literally heard back nothing from any of the jobs. I'm sorry that is happening to people. I know that the job market sucks. I've heard so many horror stories. I can't even imagine what that's like. Those are the people, in my opinion, that are totally valid and asking for help. The person that I made the video about yesterday lost their job last week at Spirit Airlines, along with 17,000 other people. And granted, I don't know this person. Maybe making a GoFundMe link was really their last resort. I just personally do not believe that to be the case, because I know for a fact that they sent this same exact DM to hundreds of different influencers and celebrities. The person did not follow me. They have never DM'd me previously. They have never supported me on any social platforms. They have never purchased from Painted. This person was literally just spam copying and pasting this DM to every person that they assumed had money to offer them. And I'm sorry, just because somebody has money does not mean that you're entitled. I'm sorry.
And I agree, nobody is entitled, but it seems that if that is what she really did, sending the same message to a lot of other influencers, the real question is, why are you the only one that took the bait and crashed out? Why? And I'm not saying she was baiting him to crash out. I'm saying she exposed something in you. You might have just been having a bad day. I understand. But did nobody else crash out like you crashed out? It didn't have to be this, you know? They probably left her on red, to be honest. It was like, oh, somebody else asking me for money. I'm gonna just leave that alone. And that's their prerogative. But even in these follow-up videos, Mr. James, this is making you not look the best. And granted, we all have our moments, but I just think, and you said this is on the spam account. I think you need to get rid of the spam account. If this is what you're doing on the spam account. And maybe this is on brand for him and his content, but
That comes across as insensitive or privileged or mean, but welcome to the real world. It's hard out there. Nobody owes anybody anything. The universe will constantly remind you of that, and a little bit of effort goes a really, really long way sometimes. I stand behind what I said, 10 toes down. Instead of spending an hour copying and pasting the same DM to 100 different celebrities or influencers, you could have spent the same amount of time copying and pasting a job application.
And that's gut wrenching, gut wrenching, because I just said at least he didn't stand 10 toes down earlier, and he did. Oh. And even with that, Mr. James, I still understand that you're a flawed person, just like I am, just like all of us. But you did in fact stand 10 toes down after I thought you just
to hundreds of different companies. Or, hear me out, put in a little bit of effort. If you want to send the DMs, at least spend 20 seconds before you hit send, customizing it to the person that you're asking for money from, right? Hi, sister. James, I've been watching your YouTube videos since I was a teenager. You really taught me how to do makeup and it positively impacted my life every single Friday. Hey, I'm in this situation. Do you think that you could help? Probably would have gone a lot further than a generic message. Or, instead of copy and pasting the same job application to hundreds of different companies, send in 10 job applications to companies that you really care about and you think you could fit in with, and then customize your application and your cover letter, letting these recruiters or hiring people know that you're the best candidate for this job and why they should want you on their team.
And I am not against job advice. I just think, Mr. James, is this the right time? Like, seriously. I kind feel like this is making it worse. And should I even just let it keep playing? Because I still think, again, forgiveness is for the other person. And I still feel that way. But it wouldn't be too far-fetched, in my opinion, for people to question, is this sincere? Is this genuine? And I only am going off of what I'm seeing. I think that may also come into question when it comes to the other apology video that he posted, which I don't know in which order you're going to see this, because I don't even know where to put, what do I do with this now? And he was saying, you know, people making think pieces and using him in the first 5 seconds saying the crazy stuff he was saying. And I love to get the full context. And I did, and I fear me getting the full context just made it even worse, because that kind of changes my perspective a little bit. Just you know.
I know putting in the extra work and effort probably feels useless when you know that you're in a sea of DMs or job applicants, but trust and believe, as somebody who's now on the other side of things, the little bit of extra effort does go a very long way. And unfortunately, taking the easy route is usually never going to work. That's just my 2 cents. It's a word of advice. You can take it, you can leave it. It's all good. I just wanted to provide some more context on my video yesterday because I do not like how it's being twisted and taken out of context. It was definitely never my intention to undermine anybody who's trying to work and provide a better future for themselves, their family, and their loved ones. I just don't exactly think that that is what this person was trying to do, or at least the right way to go about doing it.
The internet too fast. They fast. He deleted it to make the same video. What? He did it again. I cannot keep up. Is there another one? I'm gonna look. People are saying, wow, this apology is worse than the original. Was there another original? Or the original video, maybe. And people are saying here, I don't know. 17,000 people were expecting an entire airline to go bankrupt. Another comment saying, it literally gets worse. Another saying, I don't think he gets it. Another one stating, if I lost my job tomorrow, I'd be homeless by the 10th of the month. I don't have 6 months to find a job. And that's what most people's story is. Paycheck to paycheck. He doesn't understand. This is actually worse. Another comment saying, out of context, 5-second clip. The entire video was off. And that's what I'm saying, Mr. James. I love to get the context, because I agree that sometimes the internet will just take a clip and try to paint a narrative. But when you get the full context, it doesn't help. That's what I'm saying. It didn't help you here.
I stand behind what I said 10 toes down. The reason I made that video yesterday, though, was a lot of people these days do not have the make it work mentality. They have no desire to actually put in the effort to try to fix a problem and get themselves out of a situation.
Seeing that people online are very split about this whole thing, what do y'all think? But I will say this, the job market is very hard for a lot of people, and it's been like that for a good little minute now. I mean, if you don't believe me, go back and look at my videos. And shout out to everybody that's actually trying their best and losing their jobs. The jobs ain't paying enough. Keep your head up. But we got to start making better decisions today in order to have a better future.